Hi. The Ork Battle Wagon was one of the few plastic vehicle kits available during the Rogue Trader era of Warhammer 40,000, the others being the Rhino, the Predator and the Land Raider, so this was the only alien vehicle kit that was available. Now it was discontinued rather abruptly during 2nd edition, and for a long time there were no plastic kits of the Battle Wagon available until this version was released. I think it could actually have been 5th edition by the time this came out. There was a model done by Forge World in resin, of course, but that cost £100 at the time, so I didn't get any, and I've not been able to find any on eBay, so I can't tell you how much they would actually cost now. However, there have been various other versions of the Battle Wagon, largely in the Epic game. In fact, one of these has been in a previous video of mine, my Rogue Trader Ork Army, was the Gob Smasher. This is upscaled from the Epic model, and there was a modelling workshop article in an old edition of White Dwarf that explained not only how to make this, but also gave rules for using it in Warhammer 40,000. But this wasn't the only variation on the Battle Wagon in the Epic game, and in this video I'm going to take a look at one of the others. This is a particular variant I'm going to be looking at today. This is called the Lungbursta, which, as you can see, mounts a single large caliber cannon on the front of its hull in a similar fashion to the Gob Smasher, but it has a more conventional tank-like appearance. This is probably a tank hunter vehicle of some kind. Now, the same edition of White Dwarf that had the instructions for the Gob Smasher in also had basic templates for several other types of Ork Battle Wagon, including the Lungbursta at Warhammer 40,000 scale. But although I'm going to be scaling this up to that scale, I'm not going to be using those templates because they were rather basic, and I have definitely seen some differences between the Epic scale models and what would have been produced at Warhammer 40,000 scale using those templates. Therefore, I'm going to be starting from scratch. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I always start these sorts of projects out with a 1-to-1 scale sketch of what I want to produce. And here we have a side elevation and a plan view of the Lungbursta. And then once I've got that done, I move on to a simple card prototype so I can see what it looks like in 3 dimensions. And after making this, I decided that actually I was going to make the engine block at the back and the main gun housing, I won't call it a turret because it doesn't turn, I wanted to make those just a couple of millimeters shorter. Then once I'd figured that out, I could then move on to actually using more valuable resources, and I've produced the basic core of the tank out of plasticard. And you'll see at this point I've also put the basic track system on. The large wheels at the front and the back are made using 25mm figure bases. There's one base on the inside and one base on the outside of each wheel. I also glued a plastic washer into the wheel for a bit of detail. And then these smaller wheels running along the centres of the tracks, these are half round wooden dowels. They're left over from my original Land Raider project, and I've just cut a few of those to length and glued them to a strip of plasticard, which is then glued within this. And now this is ready to be detailed. And here we are with the fully detailed model. Now, most of this is just as it was shown on the small Epic scale metal model. The only sort of artistic license I've taken with this is here on the roof with these 3 viewports around the main cupola. And that's because the only viewport on the original model that I could find was this one here, just beside the gun. And I decided that just wasn't good enough. So I've added these 3 as well to give the crew some more visibility. I was tempted to add a coaxial weapon just here, using an old Rogue Trader vintage Ork shooter. But in the end I decided against that. I've decided this is a more specialist vehicle, and it does have these launchers either side of the main sort of gun housing. I'm guessing they perhaps were supposed to be some sort of smoke discharger, but they could be counted as a lobber for a bit of extra fire support if the main gun isn't appropriate. Other than that, all I need to do now is paint this model. And here is the finished and painted Lungbursta, and you'll see I have given it a good coat of red paint so that it will go faster. And if I just align it like so, and I can bring in the original Rogue Trader Battle Wagon kit and the Gobsmasher from Modelling Workshop, and you can see how this would have fitted in with other vehicles of its era had they all been available as official kits. And this project doesn't really end here, because of course there were several other variants of Ork Battle Wagon in the Epic Scale games, and I am going to have a go at scaling up some more of those over the coming months. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video and that you will stick around for more to come. Thanks for watching. Bye.